Greetings, programs. This is Wretch. Welcome back to Supposedly Wonderful Future. And we are here with Ashley, guys, and we're still trying to figure out who exactly hacked her account and basically threw a monkey wrench into her entire life. Now, we checked the personnel profiles and the incident logs. Let's go ahead and check up on the meetup recordings. This is the security footage from the local library where Ashley and her team held their latest meetup on July 10th. A lone camera mounted on the ceiling documented everything that's happened, a useful insight into your suspects' personalities and the relationships with the victim and each other. Watching the entire day of records would be a serious time investment, but a list of timestamps displayed nearby suggests you don't have to. Sean left you a shortcut to the most important bits. Oh, good old Sean. Okay, let's look at timestamp 9:17 a.m. The place reminds you of a classroom, probably because of lined up desks. Each one is fitted with a terminal. The only person present is Ashley, occupying one of the desks, waving her hands at the screen. Soon after the video starts, a man walks into the room. A caption appears over his head for a moment, reading, "Daniel, Suspect C." Now, this is the one that no one seems to like. On your own terminal, you see a full transcript of the video displayed nearby. Don't tell me you're here since 9 a.m. sharp. It's not an office job, you know. Ashley, well, that's fine. I didn't have anything else to do this morning. So, I'm to help you with the sensory stuff, right? Can you walk me through it? Sure. You know how a typical virtual reality headset works? Not really, sorry. I've used VR many times, of course, but never actually bothered to figure out the mechanics. It's alright, I'll explain. Let me just get mine out of the bag. That's a slick-looking red thingy. Did you choose it to match your hair? I did, actually. So, the first important part is that it covers your entire field of vision. That's kind of the point. If you have bits of reality left on the periphery, you might as well take the thing off and watch your show on a flat screen the old-fashioned way. Right. Next, we have these extensions that cover your nose and cheeks. They regulate the temperature inside, blow steam of air to simulate the wind, and also contain scent cartridges that distribute tiny amounts of gas next to your nostrils. They have a limited amount of chemicals, of course, and you can always get spares, but these days it's optimized so well that you don't need a refill for a long time. It looks simple so far. What's also important is that cartridges don't contain a smell for every possible occasion. There's a limited scent palette, and generally you'll have to mix the basics in different proportions to get something specific and realistic. So, doing sense is akin to being a sound designer who makes an audio track of a movie from his collection of simple effects. Sometimes it's straightforward, sometimes you need to get creative. I actually spent some time mixing our own library of scents, so you won't have to worry much about chemistry. It doesn't have anything, but it should give you an instant solution for the typical stuff. The kind of stuff you'd expect to encounter in a show like ours, anyway. Cool, thanks. And touch? You need gloves for that, right? Yeah. Most of these apply pressure to your palms in different patterns to simulate various surface textures. Some can also regulate temperature to make it cool or warm, generate moist if you need something wet, and even trigger mild pain. In our case, it's usually less varied than sense, so you should be fine with standard presets. Just familiarize yourself with them. And I don't mean to question your work here, but is it worth it? Does it really make the show better? Well, generally, it's up to debate. Some will call it a useless gimmick and say that the plot is still the most important thing, with the rules of storytelling not changing since prehistoric people shared tales by the campfire. Others will call it the future and tell you to go for total immersion. Most will be somewhere in between. But as for our own audience, they love it almost unanimously. Not a single episode is released without somebody leaving a shiny comment about how they like this fancy smell or that funny touch. So, for now, I'd say it's a no-brainer. So, basically, once you finish editing an episode, I'll need to go through it and determine which effects to use and where. That's right. What helps me personally is to draw a parallel between a web show and a video game. In a VR video game, you have an avatar that walks around and interacts with stuff. In a show, you're a passive observer, but because it's VR, you're still part of the world. So you kind of still have an avatar, you just can't move it. It goes wherever the camera goes, the path predetermined. But as long as the stuff is nearby, you can still interact with it. You can reach out your hand and feel a surface, or you can sniff your nose, which would trigger a response from the helmet to intensify the current scent. Ideally, all of this should be accounted for. Okay. Now, the good news is that you don't need to worry about all the senses all the time. The human brain won't appreciate it anyway. It gives the most power to the senses you're concentrating on, and moves everything else to the background. So for any given scene in the show, think of what would be naturally engaged. Like, if a character appears for the first time in fancy new clothes, sight is obviously important, and maybe a nice smell of perfume she's wearing. But not the temperature around, because you wouldn't care about it in real life, even if it's really hot or cold. You would be momentarily distracted by her arrival. On the contrary, when two characters are having an ideal conversation for quite some time and you're outside and it's getting dark, then adding a touch of cold breeze might just be the right thing. Still with me? Yeah, sure. I think I get it. Want to start with doing a few effects together? Should be a couple of hours until the others arrive. Of course, let's do it. And pre-selected fragment. So Ashley looks like she puts a lot of care and time into this show. Okay, that's 1. Let's go to timestamp 2. The room is significantly more crowded this time. Ashley is sitting behind the same desk, while the desk nearby is occupied by another woman who looks slightly older. Daniel is not around, but there's a different man leaning against the wall to the left. He's tall, blonde, and has a slightly bored expression on his face. There's an image of another man's bearded face projected right onto the wall in front. He must be on a video call, participating in the meeting only remotely. The wall to the right, however, contains the most peculiar sight of all. A girl is standing there, her arms crossed, her face a wide grin, a long and very realistic-looking sword beside her. To call her appearance flashy would be an understatement. It's in stark contrast with the regular daily clothes of the others. She wears long brown pants, a strapless top, a red cape with an incredibly high neck, and a pair of curiously shaped sunglasses. The exposed part of her upper body is covered in tattoos, and her light blue hair is short and unruly. Seems like someone from Shadowrun. Perhaps she mistook this meeting for an anime convention, but the others look completely unfazed by her sight. The captions conveniently allow you to identify all the new faces. The blonde guy is Carl, suspect A. The woman next to Ashley is Anne, suspect D. The cosplayer is Vivian, suspect B. And the man on the screen is Boyd, the director. Boyd. Alright, a couple of quick things. Sorry I'm not present in person, but this guy wants to meet today, and it looks worthwhile. Might be a great source of funding. Carl. As long as our artistic freedom is not sacrificed. Boyd. Nah, the dude gets it. You've got to nurture your talent. Like I nurture you guys. Yeah. Best boss ever. When do we film? As soon as we finish the existing footage. I'll need a very clear picture of where we are now, and the only way to provide that is to get the end result. Should be enough there for 3, maybe 3.5 episodes. Ashley has agreed to edit it all. And burning a tanker of midnight oil again, girl. I'll help. Or burning a tanker of midnight oil again, girl. I'll help, Boyd. Thanks, Anne. Much appreciated. We need our Ash fresh and healthy for the shooting of our season finale. And the script? Chloe is putting in the final touches. I think you people will love it. I think I'd love my own script even more. Carl, you know I can't give you anything mid-season when the deadlines are starting to get real. Well, what can I say? You can't rush a masterpiece. Yeah, but I'm not even trying at this point. But I read Chloe's near-finished version, and I honestly think she did a great job. I have a lot of awesomeness visualized in my head right now, and if it comes to life, this will end up being our best season yet. We might even have trouble topping it further down the road. Vivian. Wrong. Our journey will continue upwards, as far as it takes. Oh, hey Vivian. Haven't noticed you there. Who are you this time? I'm the mighty Kamina, the man of indomitable spirit and masculinity. You'd better remember that. And that didn't really help. It's always some kind of ancient cult classic, right? Don't be thankful if you missed the last time. It was a radio host of some sort. Wouldn't shut up about hooded figures in the dog park. Well, Ashley. Knowing her, she probably nailed it again. Got all the little things right, and we can't even appreciate them. I hear ya. The subtle references are wasted on us. Anyhow, I'm thinking about 2 days of shooting, 8 hours straight, just the way you like it. Outdoor scenes when the weather is right, indoor scenes otherwise. The indoor set is prepped and all yours, Anne. Oh, sure thing. Shall I start whenever? Yeah, do your props and lighting magic. Chloe should fill you in on what we're aiming for, just don't go overboard. And please don't turn this into a weightlifting championship again. We need you fresh and healthy as well, even if you're not on screen. If something heavy needs to be moved, call me. I'm good at dumb manual labor. Got it. Thanks, Boyd. We'll also need a costume for Carl and the makeup done for all three of you, which I assume won't be a problem for our Vivian. Just who the hell do you think I am? Right. I'll take that as a yes. And if anyone has friends who want to play extra, now's the time to invite them for our park scene. We'll need 15, maybe 20 people? 25 if we do some sweeping shots, but that's the limit. Simon, how many times did I tell you you are a spiral being? Spiral beings have no limits. Who's Simon? Is there any point in asking? Oh, and while we're having fun on set, Daniel is going to do effects integration. Ash, I hope you can patiently show him the ropes until then and resist doing everything quickly by yourself. Don't worry, I get it. Teach a man to fish and all that. Some people are just incapable of fishing. Believe in me, Simon. Do not believe in him. Believe in me. Believe in Kamina, who believes in him. Yeah, what she said. And that about covers it. Now, excuse me, I have to go and court our supposedly juicy investor. Everyone, thanks for your time. It looks like things are going relatively well. So this was 9:17, this is 11:25, this is 3.5 hours later. The setting is back to what it was like in the morning. Ashley is concentrated on her work. Daniel is sitting nearby, wearing Ashley's red headset. Most of his face is covered by the device, but judging by the smile on his lips, the guy is having fun. Hey, that's a nice one. Oh, chamomile. I feel relaxed already. That's a nice strawberry. And a touch of vanilla. But, oh, but what on earth was that? Was that a fart? Sorry? Oh, yeah, I did those. 4 types. 4 farts? Yep, depending on the food one might have eaten before. You were messing with me. Just imagine the possibilities. You can't deny that the VR took fart jokes to a whole new level. What a time to be alive. Oh, man, but honestly, this library is amazing. You must have spent months making it. It was fun. How do you manage to do this? Do what? Pour so much heart and soul into this thing. Well, we're all given a lot of days in this life. Might as well spend them on something. But don't you ever want something more tangible, like a real job? And what's a real job? Something that pays well for starters. You know we do get some money out of this. Not enough to pay the bills. Come on, you know what I mean. Working for some nice big company, getting a juicy paycheck every month, never having to worry that the whole thing might fall apart tomorrow. Sounds nice, right? For somebody else, perhaps. I'm not cut out for the corporate world. I'd rather be a part-time waitress than give up doing what I love. That's weird. And amazing. Weird and amazing at the same time. Well, I'll take that as a compliment. Awkward silence. Hey, Ashley, I've been meaning to ask you. Do you want to go out with me? What's that? Sorry? Go out with me. I really like you. Okay, this is really awkward. I appreciate your asking me, Dan, but I'm not really interested. Are you sure? I'm sure. You're a really nice guy, and I'm sorry if I gave you the wrong impression, but yeah, sorry. If you need some time to think about it, that's fine. Time is not the issue here. I'm just not interested. I mean, there's no need to rush or anything. Just one date. I know this great place. No, seriously. I value you as a friend, but I don't want to take it any further. Come on, Ash, just give me a chance. I promise I'll make it worth your while. Dan, please, I've made up my mind. But if you could only turn away from your screens and listen to me for a moment. I did that, Dan. I started to listen very carefully when I realized how serious your request is, and I said no. No means no. Please, don't turn this into a problem. I just... Stop. Just stop, okay? Ugh. Unbelievable. Look, I guess I'll just get out of here then. Alright, so... Trouble in Paradise. And this is a mere 22 minutes later. Despite the recent turn of events, Ashley is at her usual place, still purposely looking at the screen. Or purposefully. Daniel is nowhere to be found, but Anne joins her soon enough. Hey Ash, editing? Oh, hey Anne. Yes. Leave an episode or two for me. I promise to help. What? Right. Just a moment. Did something happen? You look much more preoccupied than you were before. Dan asked me out. What? Like, while you were helping him with the effects? Yes, and I said no. Oh. I assume he did not take it very well. That's the problem. He didn't take it at all. He just kept going, so I had to put my foot down, and it got really awkward, and... Oh, I'm sorry you had to go through that, darling. You think I did the wrong thing? What? Of course not. You're not remotely interested in the guy, right? Yeah. Then how can you even ask that? But I heard him. At least I think I did. He sure left the room pretty fast. Well, that should be irrelevant, isn't it? When somebody asks you out, you respond, and they live with it. As simple as that. If he can't take no for an answer, that's entirely his problem. Yes, but look, Ash, I know how considerate you are. Hell, you're the most caring person I've met, and I love you so much for that, but some people just don't deserve your empathy. I've always thought that guy is no good. You shouldn't worry about him so much. That's just not who I am, Anne. I care for people. Even if I get burned, I keep looking for the good side. All the work I'm doing here, there's no point in it if I don't. I know, sweetie, but you can't sacrifice yourself. It's always hard to tell when I stop investing and start sacrificing. And that's why I'm here. You care for everybody, I care for you. Come on, chin up. Let's go get some fresh air and a nice cup of iced coffee. The weather is awesome today. Thanks, Anne. Just give me a moment, alright? Sure thing. So, damage control seemed to have gone well. A mere 20 minutes later, let's see what happened about 43 minutes later. This time, Ashley is not present, but Carl is. There's also a new girl sitting on top of the desk nearby. She's incredibly short and has short hair dyed an icy blue. The caption identifies her as Chloe, Suspect E. So Chloe's like really good, so much that there was a new girl kind of thing, you know? The girl is gesticulating and looks positively excited. The two must be in the middle of a conversation. I believe that was the word. So what I'm saying is that under certain circumstances, not always, but when it's most susceptible, like being exhausted, for example, you can really fool a human's brain. If images and sounds and smells are realistic and relentless enough, your mind stops discerning between virtual and real. You just fall into whatever's happening inside your headset, and it becomes your new real life. Where did you even get that? A number of independent places, actually. Just don't go questioning and scrutinizing my sources. It's boring. Think about the idea itself. Well, if that's the case, shouldn't it be happening all the time? VR is a mundane thing now. It's a harmless gimmick. People incorporate smells and touches into videos and games all the time, regardless of whether they actually need it or not. We're doing it as well. It's a matter of detail. They're using it sparingly. A rosy fragrant here, a rough surface there, a stench of sewers if they're bold. Nobody has tried to simulate it all, to replicate every little sensory element of reality. Maybe they're afraid of uncanny valley, or maybe they're hiding behind this notion that brain concentrates on 1-2 senses at a time, but that's just wrong. You might as well say, sight gives us 80% of information, so let's not bother with anything else. No, the little things matter. And if you really push the envelope, if you bombard it from all angles with endless high-quality data, that's when things get weird. Right. And the best part? To mess with the brain, you don't even have to get inside it. Forget about neural interfaces and implants and other sci-fi shit. The tools are right here. You're sitting in a chair with a bulky gizmo on your head. By all accounts, you should be aware it's fake at all times, no matter what that gizmo is showing you. But you're not. Why does it feel like you're selling me neuro-linguistic programming or similar nonsense? Please, I'm not talking about some magical programming instructions. The input is completely unexceptional. Simply a hyper-realistic simulation. It's just that our minds are fooled even more easily than we thought. And why does that make you so excited again? Oh, you boring human being. Don't you see the implications? Since the beginning, it's been about increasing input channels, bridging the gap between us and made-up worlds more and more, 1 sense at a time. Text, still images, moving images with sound, but now we're erasing the gap altogether. This is where the next revolution will come from. The last barrier between virtual and real will fall, and it's gonna be glorious. The door opens and Ashley and Anne walk in. Hey Chloe, Carl. Oh, hello ladies. Chloe's just been explaining to me why we need to make our show even more smelly. Get out of here. Yep, I think I'll do just that. Charming to hang out with you folks, but my work awaits me. Good luck with your revolution, Penguin. My dear human, I myself broke that barrier a long time ago. Well, I guess we know who Chloe is. Ye old penguin. And here's the last one, timestamp 6. 6:55. The evening sun colors the room in pleasant shades of orange as Ashley continues her editing marathon. To the left, Chloe and Vivian are engaged in a conversation, the latter still being dressed in her over-the-top costume. The two blue-haired girls seem to be enjoying each other's company. Oh, okay, there's 2 blue-haired girls. I'm sorry. I need to look at the list again of the suspects. Okay. I'm glad that blue hair is now a regular thing. And we got 2 pages here. And the whole thing's happening at the park, so there are people around. And they can't help but look at them because she's wearing these ragtag clothes and he's shaking badly. But then she just, bam, and kisses him. A mad display of courage. And she says, I am scared, but that's all the more reason to do it. I want to be together, no matter what. A drill that pierces the heavens. But then her friend comes, and she has feelings for her as well, but she puts on her best smile and tries to be happy for them with all her might. So you kind of think that while their struggle may be tough, she literally chose to face the impossible. And kick the reason to the curb. Wait a minute, who is who here? I'm trying to remember here. I believe... Hold on. Let me double check who was who here. Vivian was the cosplayer, wasn't she? But, oh, is this the... Okay, that's the one with Daniel. I need to write this down to get this the proper... Okay. Blue hair. Carl. Okay, that's Vivian. She's the cosplayer, so I was right with that. Chloe is the one who's all talking about, like, the Matrix and such. Okay, cool. Now that I know that... Let's see what happens here. So we were going... But she literally chose to face the impossible. And kick the reason to the curb. Exactly. And you watch this woman, who was the fragile one all the time, act so strongly. And you think about how fragility and strength are closely intertwined in humans and this kind of stuff. At times like this, I remember looking at Simon's back as he dug tirelessly. I wanted to become a man whose back would never break. But then a crack in her facade appears, and it's not clear whether the other two notice it, but it's definitely might become a problem no matter how hard she tries, so you get all emotional and impatiently wait for the next season. Anyway, shall we call it a day? It's been a glorious day, comrades. Let us rest so we can continue to drill the path to our future tomorrow. Ash, you coming? Yeah, just a moment. The door opens and Daniel quickly walks in. Thank God you're still here. Ashley, I am so sorry. I've been replaying our conversation in my head over and over again until I realized how disgusting I was. Daniel, you said no, and I respect that. I should have respected that. Just please forgive me. It's okay. I'm such an idiot. Now I'm going to lose your friendship as well, and I don't want to lose that. I know I deserve it, but I don't want to... Dan, it's okay. Don't worry. Thank you. I can't offer you a relationship, but I don't intend to throw you away either. If you're alright with just a person who cares about you as a human being, then I'm right here. Thank you. Look, you're amazing. Thank you so much. Oh, Vivian. Simon! Good job! Be sure to return that love tenfold. He didn't get the girl, you silly. Neither did I. I'm not sure which one of us was supposed to be Simon this time. Don't you get it? Simon is everyone. And everyone is Simon. Come on, humans. Let's go home. End of pre-selected fragment. Okay, well, it looks like it actually ended like with a peace accord kind of thing. So that's interesting. And now we have the ability to contact subjects. We only get to interview 2 of them though. That's going to be the tough part. So let's exit out of here. We can talk to Ash again if we wanted to. We need to get some more information for sure. So I'll tell you what, guys. I think I'll end the episode here. We'll question all these people, and then we'll decide which are 2 people that we're going to be able to call, and I guess we'll make a decision about who did what to who now, where. But hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you liked the episode, please leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, that'd be a big help. And we'll see you next time. Later days, everyone.